What's up, class? Dr. White here again. Apologize, you've not heard from me in a while, but I wanted to quickly do a video and just give you some insight into this exegetical paper that you are hopefully in the process of writing right now. I gave you really, and hopefully you've seen them, I assume you have, really detailed instructions at the end of the syllabus. And the reason I did that is because just honestly, personal frustration from when I was a student and walked into a class not too dissimilar to this class, and was told, write write a 10-page exegesis paper, and I had no idea what that meant. And so because of that frustration, I've tried to give you really clear guidelines and steps to let you know what I'm looking for, what I expect, and kind of even to guide you through the process of writing this paper. So that's why there's all that information back there. I trust you found it and are following those steps. And just quickly wanted to walk through them. So this is as the instructions say. I'm looking for something with this exact format. So this isn't a traditional paper. This is a paper that's following these guidelines exactly. So with the text first, and then a historical context section, a literary context section, and so on and so forth. And letting each of those be actual headings for your paper. There's a sample exegetical paper. Hopefully you found that in the syllabus, etc. tab on our Blackboard page. And so that's another place I would just encourage you, go to that paper. It's not on your text, it's on a text in Ephesians 2. Go to that paper and use that as your template for writing this paper. Copy and paste it, delete the content and use the headings, or do whatever you see fit. But that's the way I would go about doing this. Several, just another word as you read through the requirements in the paper, or for the paper. I've given you kind of sample lengths, and so please do try to follow those. There's a reason that some sections are suggested to be longer than others, and so that means there needs to be more development, more information that would come in that section. And then several times you'll see throughout, kind of in bold, or actually all caps rather, you'll see no biblical commentary needed. And just let me explain that quickly. That means that really what should drive your writing in that section is your own brain power, your own exegesis, your own biblical interpretation of that text. And so that information is not necessarily to be found just by looking up in a book and seeing what Doug Moo or someone else says about your text. Now, if you want to appeal to sources, if you want to kind of read what other people are saying and then come and let that inform your work, that's okay. But I'm just saying no biblical commentary is technically needed. That's not something that you should have to rely upon. That's something you should be able to think through and do with your own brain power. So that's it. Maybe not quite, because I just looked at the very end. And so then at the very end, you've got the exegetical outline, or the historical outline, and you've got the homiletical, or the sermon outline. Sometimes I've had students ask about the difference between those. And so the exegetical historical outline is just the way you see the text breaking up, and so it's oriented to the arguments and the events of the text. So in Paul's day, so Paul is writing to the Roman church, and so oftentimes those points that break up should be in the past tense. It could be something like, Paul wrote, or Paul encouraged, Paul taught. Again, past tense verbs about what the author is communicating to that audience, that ancient audience. Whereas when you come over into the sermon outline, and not all of you are preachers, but think Sunday school, or think Bible study leaders, or whatever your context might be, think through, how would I teach this to a modern audience? And so generally, what I try to do as a pastor, as a preacher, a teacher, is those points are in the present tense. And they're usually first person plural. So we learn, we see, we should, we must. those sorts of verbs being used to again bring the same contextual information, the same truths that the Scripture is teaching, but to phrase them into to make them applicational, and in a way that a modern audience would understand. So again, refer to that sample exegetical paper, and you'll see at least the way that paper and that person is doing it. So if you have questions, please reach out to me. Technically, officially, this paper is due this Sunday night at midnight. If you need more time, I know the announcement that went out early in the week had some crazy things if you saw it. So I recycle those announcements and then I update them, and that one obviously did not get updated because it was wishing you a happy 4th of July. So if you're confused about the date of the paper being due, if you absolutely need another day or some more time, just email me, ask me. Don't just do that, but email me, ask me permission, and we'll see what we can work out. So grace to you as you're writing these things. I'm praying for you guys. I know again it's a grind to do all these things, and so I'm praying that you do good work, that it comes quickly for you, you're able to figure things out well. So appreciate you guys, and yeah, best wishes as you write.